behaving, and and all for 2 days, everyone's like, "Oh, Blake is so fucked. Look at this. I said it." And then Blake's team comes out and they're like, "Well, we love the video as much as you do. The video shows he's not in character. He's not supposed to speak to her. He's
Not
his
supposed to be
lip
canoodling her neck.
right." And so you're like, man, both sides. You could listen to one scene, like, where does the like, oh, these lawyers are good. You're like, oh, now Blake's got a point and he's got a point. This is what lawsuits are made of. Guys, don't sue anyone. It's unless you
Well,
really,
do
it's
so if
not
you've got $1
easy.
billion. I mean, this is going to be fun. This is like almost
Yes.
insane entertainment for us at this point. I don't have any. Now that I know that it's billionaire versus billionaire, I'm like, I'm in it for all the entertainment. I don't give a rip. They got plenty of money to waste. They got plenty of money to spend. Brian Friedman, the attorney, his house burnt down in the Palisades, and this man has time to plot and plan and release video. I mean, hello, this is the best movie that's on TV right now. The other thing about that video, what did you think? The intimacy coordinator was not on set when that was taken, but didn't it seem to you because at the end, Justin Baldoni yells cut. So they were obviously getting they were getting like B-roll of the two of them dancing and they're talking to one another and she's saying how she and Ryan can never shut up. And then Baldoni says, "My wife and I we'll look into each other's eyes for 5 minutes. We'll just stare and we won't say anything." And she goes, "Oh, I'm working with this sociopath." And he's like, "Ah, you smell so good." So
Mhm.
okay, but it did seem like they were filming. Now Lively's team tries to make it seem like, oh, this wasn't even a scene. Look how uncomfortable she is. She's going along with it. But this proves our point because this wasn't even a. But weren't they filming? He yells.
Well, they were, I think what happened is prior, they worked things out, and one of the requests from Blake was like, under no circumstances should the intimate scene, should he speak to her at all unless it's in character. So they're saying, like, we agreed on this. Now, agreed, I don't know when, where, but like that doesn't seem like it's in character to me, which I mean, that alone is the strangest thing. We're on a movie and we're only supposed to speak to each other in character. I mean,
This is why I couldn't be an actor. I can't. Even those scenes watching that, like, I don't know if I could sit there without like cracking up. And plus, I like always feel like I have bad breath. Improvising there and looking into their eyes. Like, this is why I could never be an actor. Could you? Could you imagine you and me sitting there looking into each other's eyes and smelling each other's spray tans? I don't know. I'd just be like, it's fucking weird.
um, yes and yes. And also, so like this, look, the website would be interesting with all the communications. And Justin said, well, here's just one example of what we'll be releasing on this potential website, all of our texts. And they're like, they brought up the Taylor Swift thing of it. We knew before there was a day they were filming and Ryan Reynolds came and he was very pro Blake and her changes. And then Taylor came and she said, oh my God, like I love the script and especially all the things that Blake put in it, and Justin's like, okay, I know this is like basically a strong arm from like the most famous woman in the world here. Like, I see what you're doing because Taylor said like, oh, all Blake's changes are. And then he's like, here's an example of the text that we'll be releasing on the website. And it was a text. I guess he texted Blake and said, by the way, I loved all your changes, even without Ryan and Taylor's input. Meaning, like, Taylor was there. Oh, she was so like, I liked it anyway, honey. You didn't have to do this. And then apparently Blake responded and said, "Do you ever watch Game of Thrones?" Well, you see, you'll appreciate if you watch it. I'm like Khaleesi, who apparently is the queen.
I
And
will.
just like Khaleesi, I have many dragons in my arsenal. Now, I'm paraphrasing, and her dragons in this case were Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds. And for better or worse, my dragons protect me. And everyone realizes the benefit of my dragons, Taylor and Ryan. And I promise you, soon you'll see the benefit of my dragons too. Does sound like a threat to me.
An enormous threat. An enormous threat. What a veiled.
Mm,
I believe. I actually don't think I believe that they caught feelings for one another.
no.
But reading about no, I don't. But I think reading about I think you become so famous and you become in this world where people say yes to you and they blow smoke up your ass that you're the greatest writer of all time. And she's just done all these things where she said, "Oh, I'm so good at rewriting stuff. I rewrite for free on different scripts because I'm so good at it, and I have such a hard time saying how good I am at it." But Ryan doesn't. Ryan will go on to a set. He'll rewrite anything, and he'll just plop it down. And I think these two, Ryan and Blake, are so fucking full of themselves and think their shit doesn't sink. And I think from the beginning, my understanding is Sony's the one that brought her in on this. Justin Baldoni didn't want her to be Lily Bloom, but Sony did. And this is the problem of, I actually think Baldoni is probably too nice. I think Baldoni was like, okay, it's the studio. Sony must know what they're doing. All right. And because they're saying to him, I don't know that they said this for a fact, but they're like, you want to get funded for this film? You bring her in, you know? So,
How it works in
okay,
Hollywood, guys.
okay, we're going to bring her in. Then it starts with one little thing. I'm going to just kind of, this scene just doesn't feel right for me. I'm going to, okay, sure, yeah. And then before you know it, she's hijacked the whole damn thing. And I think I think she's doing this solely for business reputation reasons. There's a lot of debate. She wants the rights to further books from Colleen Hoover. And I think that's the move. Paint him as awful. Get Wayfarer out of the way, paint this woman as the victim, and I do not see it unless they've got smoking guns that they are not putting out, and could be. But I love Brian Friedman's attempt. I love Friedman, to me, brilliant moves.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, and of course, like you said at the start of our combo, they want to go back to court for a gag order. Well,
And apparently they're saying it's retaliatory that he's talking because they sent him a cease and desist. And he's like, as I know,
eh,
a lot of lawyers won't agree with me, but I say you send me a cease and desist. Either A, I go in the bathroom, I take the shit, I reach for the cease and desist, I wet my asshole with it. Or you get a big Sharpie and you write the words fuck you on it, mail it back to who sent it to you, or you just throw it in the fucking garbage. Cease and desist has no legal bearing. I actually think a cease and desist is a great thing. I hope I get them every day because it's basically someone saying to you, I really, 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 really don't want to sue you. I really don't. Again, the last person I sued, where
yeah,
my lawyer said, do you want to just send a cease? You have to pay to sue someone. There's fees that are you have to file. And it starts a process. And the lawyer's like, do you want to send a cease and desist? And I'm like, I don't. I don't. No. That's a waste of time. Like, actually sue the person. So I just think a cease and desist is really like saying, like, I don't want to sue you. Now, granted, a lot of times you get a cease and desist and then you do get a lawsuit when you don't. So lots of lawyers would disagree and say, David, you should probably pay attention to a cease and desist. But if you send me one, I will actually go into the toilet. I will drop the kids in the pool and I will wipe my goddamn asshole with a fucking cease and desist. Then if you sue me, I'm going to go get a lawyer and counter sue you. But they're saying that he's retaliatory because they try to cease and desist him and now he's pissed off. I agree with you. I think he's making great, brilliant moves.
brilliant. The
Um,
website is brilliant. The website's
Brilliant.
got a fabulous strategy. And I think they're getting outplayed. I think they thought,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, I
I
don't know
agree.
what they thought. And